Hello, hello, J Nell here, and real quick, I know that I'm late with my UFC Fight Night 37 recap, but just real quick, I only made two predictions on that one, and I meant 101, so I'll take that. First up, I chose Ion Cutelaba to beat Devin Clark. He did not, and I just have to say, I was wrong about Ion. I think I got wrapped up in some of his other antics. He's got great personality, plus his fighting style. He likes to kind of brawl first, and I think I forgot how much substance is actually underneath all of that controlled chaos. Well, actually, not so controlled chaos. He had a little bit too many actives. He's got solid wrestling base, like extremely solid, and he was more skilled than Devin Clark. I actually thought Devin would be more skilled. I was just completely wrong about that. He handled Devin for all 3 rounds. In between the second and third, Devin went back to his corner and said, "My teeth are broken." Devin's father was like, "Well, do you want to go back in and fight or not?" And he was like, "Well, they're already broken, so might as well go back in and fight." Gotta say, fighters are a different breed. Gotta love that spirit. And he went back into the third and still had a third win that he had a little spurt of energy where he tried to mount some offense before Ion again took control of the fight. So this should be one of those losses that he learns a lot from and gets a lot better from. But as for Ion, a little bit more control to that chaos, and you got something going on there, especially in the light heavyweight division, which is it's kind of happening right now. So it's getting more exciting right now, especially with the new champ. So who would you like to see Ion Cutelaba fight next? Next up, main event. I got this pick. I chose Anthony Smith to beat Ryan Spann. He did in the first round. It was a very eventful first round, so please, if you haven't seen it by now, check it out. It was Ryan who actually landed a significant shot first, but in the midst of that, in the exchange, while he was breaking the exchange, he forgot to protect himself, and Anthony landed I believe it was a left hook of his own, which stunned him and then eventually dropped him, was landing some more shots, ground and pound. Ryan had to give up his back, and then it was Anthony who took that back, rear naked choke, tap, tap, winner Anthony Smith. And then he proceeded to stand there over him and talk some great A smack talk, especially from Anthony Smith, who we're not used to seeing that from. He said, "Where's my butt whooping now? I thought you was gonna whoop my butt." He said, "Where's my respect? Who gives me my respect?" He went off. The people had to come in between them and separate them. And then Ryan was like, "You know what? It's okay. It's okay." Apparently, he talked a whole lot of trash. I actually wasn't able to watch all the build up to this one, so I didn't see how much trash he talked. But either way, as far as Anthony Smith, he's decided to go ahead and give this title reign one more go. I believe he's like 37 years old, 36, 37. Correct me if I'm wrong. So he kind of needed to have a moment, because unfortunately, winning is not enough. So he needed to have a moment. He made a moment. I know some people don't like the way it happened, but he made himself a moment. And yeah, good on you. Way to utilize your post-fight speech there to be all up in the headlines. We were talking about you for like 2-3 days. He called out Alexander Ratchich, and he responded. And I think he might actually get that fight. So way to, again, utilize your post-fight speech and try to have some influence over your career. Good on you. Now, UFC 266. My prediction video is happening this Saturday. This is an amazing card. Please, you have to follow me everywhere. Check out the description below for all of the Instagram, TikTok, and all of that, so you can catch my additional picks, which will probably happen for the prelims. But for now, we're just going to do the main card. First up, I'm choosing Jessica Andrade to beat Cynthia Calvillo. I am choosing Curtis Blaydes to beat Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Now, for the most anticipated and so far already the most controversial match of the entire night, we are seeing former champ Robbie Lawler take on the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Nick Diaz. After, I believe, 6 years, someone correct me if I'm wrong, has it been 6 years since he's seen combat? Has he done some sort of jiu-jitsu tournaments or anything like that? Someone let me know. Has he done something else? But it's been since 2015 since he was in a UFC octagon. But I mean, he's done, they usually do some sort of tournaments and stuff. Let me know what he's done. So, right off the bat, this was supposed to be at 170, a welterweight fight, and last minute. So, Josh Thompson, as you know, former fighter and now turned commentator, Josh Thompson, he spoke about how he shouldn't have spoke about a video that he saw, while talking about how he spoke about a video that he shouldn't have spoke about that he saw. And I don't know if that's what started it, but if it is, ooh wee. Rumors are going around saying Nick maybe got knocked out in in training recently, like within the last couple of weeks. We are now seeing that this fight is being moved up to middleweight, 185. There was conversations with Dana White and with Nick, and then Robbie Lawler has said that he spoke to Dana White. They said, do you agree? Are you cool with it? And Robbie Lawler just said, you know what, I'm prepared to fight. He's like, I would have made 170. I'm feeling fine. So, but I'm ready. It's Robbie Lawler. You know, he go bro. So everybody wants to know what's going on with Nick Diaz, and I don't have any insider information. So I'm just asking y'all, what do you think is going on with Nick Diaz? If he did get knocked out in the past couple of weeks, do you think he should be fighting? Is this one of those situations where the UFC knows that this is the most anticipated fight on the entire card, despite there being 2 titles, and they're just trying to get this fight to go no matter what? We don't want to risk Nick Diaz. Do you think that he needs money? I mean, just tell me what you think of this entire situation. But this is weird. This is fishy. And did Josh Thompson stick his foot in his mouth? Now, let's actually talk about the fight. So, again, like I said, Nick Diaz hasn't fought in 6 years, apparently. And Robbie Lawler, it's been a year, both coming off of losses. And Nick Diaz is a couple of inches longer than him. I would say that Robbie's going to be thicker than him, but seeing as how Robbie was on his way to making 170 and this is now 185, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure of physical condition Nick Diaz is going to be in at all. You know, he's a third degree black belt in jiu-jitsu under the Grace. He's an amazing jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's got some amazing slick boxing skills as well. He does know how to fight long, so he will use those 2-3 inches to his advantage, because he does know how to use that. And like his brother Nate, you know, he's got the mental game going on, trying to get you to fight outside of character. With Robbie, if you're trying to get him to brawl, if you're trying to get him to fight kind of angry, that is kind of his style. So I don't know if we want to go there. Yes, they fought like 17 years ago, but that is so long ago that it's not worth talking about. So it's not. Robbie Lawler, of course, kickboxing, Muay Thai base, kickboxing base, but Muay Thai as well. And he, again, it's not that controlled chaos better than anyone I've seen. He likes to dodge and dive shots. It seems like as he's gotten older, he has slowed down a bit, and so his defense is not as good and as efficient, and he needs to make changes there. Can't accept bad positioning. That hole where he puts his back up against the cage and slides to avoid shots. You're not as quick anymore. So will he have made those changes? The fact that he's fought in a year and Nick hasn't fought in 6, there's things like timing. That Nick says he's better, but so is Robbie. And again, timing. 6 years? Has it really been 6 years? And I think it's going to be a great fight, but I am going to go with Robbie Lawler. Right, ring rust is real. I believe it's real. And yeah, I think 6 years is a bit too long. That's not to say that someone as slick and as tricky as Nick Diaz couldn't make something happen. So it's going to be an exciting fight, and I can't wait to see it. So, but I am picking Robbie Lawler. Now, co-main event, and we're seeing the UFC Women's Flyweight champion Miss Valentina Schevchenko take on Lauren Murphy. And I will say right off top that Lauren Murphy, being someone who is older, being somewhat older, you know, especially in the fight game, especially for the ladies, and career-wise, being a veteran status, someone who's had ups and downs in her career, someone who's been in and out, someone who's had issues with the fans loving her, hating her, all of that, her just resilience. She just kept trying. I don't think anyone could take that away from her. She did earn this title shot. In fact, Jessica Andrade even skipped over her to get it. So she actually did earn this, because it's a shallow division. She's got like, what, 4 wins in a row? That's it. That earns it. That's it. This is not the lightweight division, right? So that's it. So she actually earned it. She kept trying, and kudos for her. Good on you. No matter how this happens, this is the biggest fight of your life, and you earned it. Congrats. So Valentina Schevchenko, I believe she's gonna win. I just think she just has more skills in every single way, and I think she's going to be stronger and a bit faster. As far as tenacity, I do think Lauren Murphy is again, she won't stop trying. So it will be a situation where Valentina will have to put her out, but Valentina possesses the skills to put her out. Lauren's probably gonna have to take her down, and take a risk, girl. Take a risk. If you get beat in the first round, it's not going to take your stock down. But if you can manage to last 2-3 rounds, and by goodness, if you manage to win, which I would be, Valentina's not the type to take someone lightly. That's what makes that hard, right? She's not going to take her lightly. even though she's a heavy favorite. And Lauren, take her down. That would be your best bet. You do have submissions. You do have good ground and pound. Maybe you can hurt her early. Go to the body. Go to the legs. Try to take away that mobility. Try to hamper that movement. But you have to be first because she is always first. You're going to have to take some to get some. You have to fight her in the chest. Just try. See what happens. I'm sticking with the champ. Now, main event. And we're seeing the UFC men's... I always want to say bantamweight because he's so short. Featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski taking on Brian Ortega. You know, he's probably not even that short just compared to like Max and all of that, right? So I'm looking forward to this fight. I actually think it's going to be a good fight. I still haven't been able to catch up on the Ultimate Fighter. You have Brian Ortega, the challenger here, who is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from the Gracie camp, and boy, does he know how to sling that belt. He has one of the most aggressive attacking jiu-jitsu styles that we've seen in a long time. So this is someone who if you get hurt, oh, I'm just going to take him down and catch my breath. No, you take him down, you're out of the pot into the fire. So beautiful jiu-jitsu. He's Alexander's actually a bit longer than him, even though Brian is a bit taller than him, so disproportionate length with the arms there. I'm not sure that's going to matter. He's not one that fights long, Alexander, that is, but as we know, he has developed those leg kicks, but it's Brian who actually needs to attack with the leg kicks, because Alexander actually has a wrestling base with them big, thick tree trunk thighs, and I do believe he's going to be physically stronger than him on the ground. It's going to be kind of technique versus strength. That wrestling technique is there as well, but I do believe that Brian possesses the knowledge and enough wrestling skill to actually handle that. However, the strength of Alexander, around a pound, when you get hit in the face, it's a little bit different. So I don't know how it's going to go on the ground. We'd like to think that Ortega is going to have the advantage on the ground, but I'm not so sure about that. This might be a stalemate. We end up seeing something on the feet, and if so, Brian, you need to actually attack his leg. Get rid of his mobility, because he's got that wrestling to fall back on. You've got that jiu-jitsu. Throw it out there. Protect yourself. Check the kicks. Alexander has a high pace. He's got that downhill snowball effect. It may not be a pretty win, but I think he might win by points. I think Ortega's got punching power. I believe that Soda, knockout, he got a Frankie Edgar, right? But yeah, I want Brian to win. That's why it's hard for me to go ahead and sit and pick Alexander, is because I want Brian to win. But Alexander's very well-rounded. He's got a nice chin. Brian, of course, has a submission game edge over him, but will that wrestling counteract that, especially if Alexander is physically stronger than him? Pace, is Alexander faster than him? Hand speed? I actually don't know who's going to be faster than him. Brian's not known to be for his speed, especially in this small division where they're all fast. So yeah, there's a lot of things up in the air here. There's a lot of things I'm going to have to see once they start fighting. So I'm going to have to err on the side of safety and stick with the champ, even though my heart wants T-City to win. LA! Right. So, let me know all of your picks, any injury updates. Talk to me about how you did on UFC Fight Night 37 as well. And subscribe, like, talk to me, take care. Goodbye. Oh, real quick. Yeah, about Dylan Dennis getting arrested. I forgot why we know who Dylan Dennis is. And I just wanted to ask that question. Why do we know who he is? I think he came to us by way of McGregor, but I actually don't know how. Training partner, coach, and I'm not even sure it was McGregor. Why do we know who Dylan Dennis is? Other than the fact that he was an actual fighter, I get it. He competed for Bellator and all of that, but his career wouldn't have us know who he is like this. Why do we know who Dylan Dennis is? Dennis. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care. Goodbye.